Alright boys, in this video we're going to do oil change on the 2010 Camaro SS LS3, the TR6060 manual transmission. So first things first, you get your car up on ramps. You can jack it up if you want it, I suppose, but find ramps. And with this car a little bit easier because it's got the stick. You don't have that lag and everything going on with the automatic, so I do find driving a stick up the ramps to be significantly easier. So we got it up. Now we're going to go ahead and I also drove this thing to work today, so this engine's nice and hot, just drove it home. So this oil will drain fairly quickly. Open up the cap, so that way air can come in when you undo the drain plug. Oil's a little watery. Probably because I never drive the car. Alright, so now we'll go underneath. Let's get some cardboard in here and we'll pull the drain plug off and start draining like the whole 8 quarts of oil out of this dude. Okay, we're now under the car, and on the driver's side of the oil pan you will see a 15mm drain plug. So we'll go ahead and put the 15 on and bust her loose and catch all of our wholesome goodness in here. Alright, so with the ratchet on, I like to get my little pipe just to bust this guy loose. Alrighty, now that's easy enough. Put the bucket in place. So I can use our tool to loosen it just a wee bit more before I can get hands on it. And here comes the messy part, but we're going to do our best to not get oil all over ourselves. And boom goes the dynamite. Yikes, that's hot. I got a little bit. Alright, perfect. So let this do its thing, and we'll be back in a bit. Alright, now that we're down to a little bit of a drip here, more or less. Still got a ways to go. That's my cue to go ahead and eat lunch. By the time I get back, this should be drippity drip. And then we can get the oil filter. Over there. You can see the oil filter magnet sitting on it. But we'll come back and get that, and then we'll do the catch can also. But this is what I call lunchtime while this is doing its thing here. So be back in a few. Oh yeah, there we go. Get the last few shakes in. Shake, shake. Alright, lunch is over, so I got ye old massive channel locks, because I've never, not one time has that filter ever been able to easily be removed underneath. So I'm going to put the gloves on, glove up. I'm going to use that to bust the filter loose. I'm going to take my oil filter magnet off, and we're going to drain what we can into that. And I have the drain plug put back in so I don't get oil all over me, dripping from there while I do that and drip that into the bucket. Now there's no room to film under there me doing this, so I'm just explaining what I'm going to do, and then I'll come back and show you the fruits of our labor. Okay, massive channel locks for the win. I always hand tighten the filter every time I change it, but I've never been able to get it off by hand. And as you can see, there's like the spot in the pan dug out for it, so you can't get a good grip around it with your hand, with your whole hand like you can in the Corvette. So what I always have to end up doing is grabbing the massive channel locks. The filter sticks down here just a scotch. I just clamp on it and then twist it. And then when you rotate it counterclockwise a few times, it'll become easy enough to do by hand. And then with your gloved hand, just spin it and take it off the rest of the way. Drain it into the bucket, and then now we'll reposition the bucket so we can get a little bit of drippage from back there still, whatever little bits remaining, and there at the same time, and we'll let it keep draining and doing its thing. And then we'll move up and get to the catch can. This is the filter that's off that it will be replacing. Oh, the M1 113A from Mobile One. It's like a $12 filter at Walmart. It's supposed to be good for a year or however many miles, 15,000, 20,000. I never get anywhere near that mileage, maybe 10% of that a year at the most. But this is actually the first oil change I've done since 2017. I changed the oil in November of 17 in this dude, and then didn't drive it at all in 2018. And then in 2019, just a few months ago, I drove it over the summer, and then of course that broad smashed into it, and I just got it back. So there you go, 2-year oil in here, and didn't drive the car. So getting that out and getting her done. Okay, with the engine cover removed, put the oil cap back on. Oil cap needs to be off for you to pull that cover off. Now you don't have to do this obviously if you don't have a catch can like I do, but I do. So take the oil cap off. It was already loose from earlier when we drained it. Boom, pull the engine cover off. Boom, put the cap back on so no contaminants get in there. And then we need to get our, use a 10 millimeter, and then we'll just loosen the airbox. Once it lifts up, and then we can pull our catch can off and see what kind of goodies we caught in it. Okay, with that now freed, we're going to unscrew it and see what we got. And this is the awesome chocolatey milk stuff we got going on in here. Mostly water, it looks like. Water mixed with a little bit of oil. Water on bottom, oil on top, milk shaky, which is kind of what my oil cap looked like when I took it off. So, yucky, yucky. Ew. Alright, I'll go clean that out and put it back on, and then we can fill her up, and this oil change is DUN. Okay, checking out my service report here. Yeah, the last time I changed the oil and the filter was almost 2 years to the day, 11/19 of 17. I had 30,000 miles. I think I only got like 31,000 now, so it only went 1,000 miles in 2 years. I'd say half of that was driving to Indianapolis for Bloomington Gold. So anyway, we're looking 8 quarts Mobil 1, 5W30, and 113A. So I'll go put the 8 quarts in. We've confirmed the capacity of what I did last time. See? Bloomington Gold. Good times. Good picture too. Got lots of them. Rather like this one. Alright, so what we got going on here is oil filter, new one, empty. We don't like dry starting it with no oil in there, so we got our newfangled filter, or funnel, filter over the funnel. And then we're going to go ahead and pour our oil. Well, 5W30. You could win a Chevrolet Camaro. Well, shit, son, I would love to win one of those. What do I got to do? Buy one Mobil 1 products. Upload your receipt at legendstoursweeps.com/redeem. Get 3 entries into the sweepstakes. Huh. Well, I don't think I have the receipt for this oil I bought anymore, but I do still have the one for the filter I bought. Maybe I can win myself a Camaro. How awesome would that be? I would love to have a Camaro. Those things are badass. Alright. So we'll just fill her up a little. And then, of course, once that absorbs it, there we go, she's going down. There she blows. Once we get that nice and full, we'll go ahead and put a thin coat of oil on there, and then we'll put the filter up in the beast, and then we're almost done. Alright, so our filter is now full of oil. And our O-ring is nice and lubed. Let's go put it back in. Okay, back into the car here, we have the drain plug torqued. We have the new oil filter hand tightened, the oil filter magnet sitting on the filter. You may be asking, why don't you just put it on the pan? Well, this pan's aluminum, so it won't stick. So it goes on this, which is metal, whereas on my Corvette I have one of these also, but it's on the pan right in front of the drain plug. On the BMW, the drain plug's on the very bottom, and I have one of those also. It sits right over the drain plug on the bottom of the pan, because both of those pans are steel, this one's aluminum. So, alright. Everything down here is good to go. Have our oil filter box, or air filter box back in place. Catch can is back installed where it goes. Now we just need to put the oil in. With the engine cover still off, the oil filter, or the oil cap now off, and the world's biggest funnel, that's weighted, that's a weight. We can go ahead and pour our 8 quarts of oil back into the engine. So let's go ahead and do that. Each of these big jugs had 5 quarts, so we need to do the rest of this one, and 3 quarts from the other one. That'll give us 8. And then this oil will be good to go till the next time I change it, because this thing's getting parked the rest of winter right after this. You may be asking yourself, well, why are you changing the oil on it and then parking it? That doesn't make sense. That's not the way you're supposed to do it. Wouldn't it make more sense, Hollywood, if you change the oil right when you take it out of storage and start driving it all summer? Isn't that what you're supposed to do? Question mark? No, that is not what you do. Anybody knows anything about cars knows the cylinders are not perfectly sealed. Every time combustion takes place, blow-by gets past the pistons and into the crankcase. That's why there's vacuum, there's pressure in it. So, what ends up happening is all those contaminants from combustion sits in your oil. And what you don't want is that all those contaminants sitting in your oil all winter long while this thing's stored. Because that stuff could be eating up your seals, corroding the engine, depending on what all is in there. Because your engines are aluminum these days, they may or may not be more resistant to contaminants when compared to the old cast iron engines. I don't know. All I know is I don't want them contaminants sitting in my car any longer than they have to. But that's just me. You do you. And I'll do me. There we go. Let's get my Win a Camaro thing out of the way. Alright, 3 more quarts and then we are DUN done. Well, the hood's not really open, it's more ajar, but alright. 31,302. So you're like 1,200 miles or something like that, I think. I don't know, something like that. Alright. Let's go check for leaks, make sure we don't have any. Alright, as I'm looking under the car, any leaks. That sounds good. Thing looks good in here. Sounds fine. Just leave the hood ajar for now. So back it off the ramps. She's going right there because Katie had to borrow the BMW to take to work because her transmission went out in her neon. So that thing will be coming up and parking here because we got to do bleeding all the brakes and the ABS system on it, and then we got to do a video on how you close your hood properly for the windshield people and everybody else out there. And then we got to repair the headlight on that thing from the ring popping out. So that's going there. That'll be its own video. And then we also got to do brake bleeding on the Ram and the ABS bleeding on that too. That'll also be its own video. So those are coming after this, because this is the only weekend it's going to be nice for the foreseeable future. Alright, car was sitting for a few minutes, so I went and checked the oil level again. It was about a half quart low still, so I went ahead and just put another half quart in there. So now we're all good on that. So always remember to do that. Just make sure you get on level ground and check it. So, but that's it for this video, guys. That's how you change the oil in your 2010 Camaro SS. And then I'll just give her the once around, since we're now back from the body shop and it's daylight for once. There she is in all her glory. Our new Corsa exhaust, our new rear ground effects, our new plate cover because our last one was destroyed. New rear bumper, new rear body panel. These have been redone and repainted, new gills. So the paint went all the way from here across that rail. From being crinkled, the inner wheel well on the driver's side was destroyed and replaced. That was replaced. We got new parking sensors, and they all work actually. So yeah, that's about it. You know, one thing I didn't do is try to make sure that I could still open the fuel door. Assuming those guys didn't throw my spare key away for that. But if they did, I'll include that in the video of why you can't get your car done anywhere done properly. There's our Corsa Performance exhaust sticker, by the way. So alright guys, there you have it. That's how you change the oil, 2010 Camaro SS. But we're not 100% done. The last thing we need to do is reset the oil life monitor. So that's pretty easy. I'll show you how to do it right quick. As far as the on position, you have two different menus. Your first menu is your trip odometers, fuel range, average fuel economy, vehicle speed, navigation, all that. You press menu. Here's your vehicle information. Air pressure on the tires, oil life remaining. It's 86, so press set/clear to reset. That's set/clear on the stock there. Sure you want to reset. Twist the little dealio. Yes. We now have 100% of our oil life. Easy peasy. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.